Why are people buying homes right now? With interest rates being above 7% for the most part, why would someone buy a home? I'm going to share three different reasons why someone might buy a home right now. These are three real success stories from my clients. The first one being my client found his dream home. He lived in a neighborhood nearby, but he always said, if I have the opportunity to buy in this specific neighborhood, that means I've made it in life and I'm going to do so. Second reason is my clients moved from Orange County to Riverside County for a job relocation. Her daughter also started a business which has more opportunities in Riverside County, so she's helping support her. And then the third is she's upsizing. So she actually sold her home with a very low interest rate to move into a much bigger home with a lower price point and a higher interest rate. And then the third is more control over living environment. I'll dive into that a little bit more once I talk about each separately. So in scenario number one, I'm from Orange County. I work in Orange County, LA, and Riverside County. But my client is also originally from Orange County, moved out of state to pursue his career. He has the opportunity to move back without changing jobs. So the area that his dream home is in is a city called North Tustin. Very desirable neighborhood. And he basically found his dream home and said, I can picture myself living here for the rest of my life. He's a first time buyer and he was so decisive about it. So he understood that the property that we got under contract was a great deal. So in that area, there's not a ton of fully turnkey or fully remodeled homes. And this one, he had to do pretty minimal work. It was the perfect size. It's the neighborhood that he wants. He basically just said, look, I'm not going to always have this opportunity. I'm ready to buy now. There's not a ton of competition right now because rates are high. So I'd rather have the house in the neighborhood that I want for the rest of my life. And if rates go down, great. I'm just going to refinance. But he's comfortable with the payment, even though the rates are high. But at this point, he's anticipating that he'll be able to refinance in about a year. And he understands that in a year, if rates do significantly drop, he would not be able to buy that same home at the price he got it for because there'd be way more competition. Okay, so scenario number two. My client has lived in Orange County for the last 20 years. She's raised her kids here, but now she has a job opportunity out in Riverside County, and her daughter's business also has more opportunities in Riverside County. Additionally, her entire family is moving out to Riverside County to pursue their business opportunities. So her family, including her siblings and her parents, also live out there. So for them, it was like a full family migration into Riverside County for multiple reasons. And so in her scenario, she actually sold her home where she has a 3.5% interest rate and she's getting a rate in the high sixes. Her monthly payment is about the same because she's using the equity from her home to move into a bigger home that also has a attached ADU. So her plan is to help her daughter build her business while her daughter lives in the ADU. After her daughter eventually buys her own home, then she'll actually move her parents into that new home, into that ADU as well. For those of you who don't know what an ADU is, it's an accessory dwelling unit, which is basically an in-law suite, or it's a detached or attached separate living area that typically has its own washer, dryer, kitchen, all that stuff. In scenario number two, to summarize, my client had a long list of different things going on in her life, some big life changes, some new opportunities, and most importantly, just a bigger house with a separate living unit for her family as well. Scenario number three, more control over living situation. So most of us have been renters in our lives. If you have never rented in your life, congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment. I remember renting and I had two terrible landlords. And so my clients currently, they were in that scenario where they were renting an apartment. They had access to a detached garage, and that garage is actually now being converted into an ADU. So they lost their parking space, they're living in a construction zone, and their rents are being raised. And so from their perspective, they're like, look, we've been saving money. We've been renting for long enough, but we really don't want to ever be put in this situation again where a landlord can basically raise the rents and we're living in this not great living situation through a construction zone. And so overall, they just really wanted to take control of their own living situation and own a property. So, in the third scenario, the reason behind moving was really just one main reason, and it was we don't want to have any more bad landlords in the future. So, to recap the three reasons why my clients purchase a home with such high interest rates right now: number one, dream home. It's a forever home. A great opportunity to move into the home of their dreams, their forever home. Second one, family reasons, new opportunities, different type of property, bigger property. And then the third, more control over your own living situation and no more bad landlords. So these are just three of the reasons why people bought now, and these are just three recent stories of my clients. There are a ton of other reasons why people are buying in this moment. I have other clients who are actively shopping but haven't bought a home yet, simply because they know there's not a lot of competition right now with high interest rates. So a lot of people don't actually qualify, and their plan is to avoid the competition and avoid the madness it's going to be when interest rates go down, because they would just rather not deal with that much competition when home shopping. If you thought this content was helpful, please subscribe.